Hey there, this is Marisa with Marisa Moments Podcast, Healing While I Heal, where I share real life stories and their divine healing translations. So let's just get straight into it. Okay, so I mentioned in a previous podcast about how I had a deep dental cleaning, right? Now, as I went to sign in for my appointment, right, they were like, oh, your portion today will be $1,222.85. And I was like, what? Blink, blink, blink. Excuse me, come again. I was told that it was completely covered. So what the French toast, right? And the woman, she was really nice. She's like, oh, I'm sorry about that, ma'am. I don't know why I'm giving her a country accent, but it felt right. She was like, I'm sorry about that, ma'am. It looks like your insurance did pick up about 80%. However, you do owe that copay about 20%. And I was like, oh boy. Meanwhile, in my mind, I'm thinking, man, my husband just dropped me off and I don't want to walk home at this point, even though the place is pretty close to my house. I was like, I'm supposed to be here for a cleaning. I will turn away, but I don't want to have to walk because my ride just left. Anywho, long story long, I end up calling my husband and I'm like, okay, this is what's going on. And he's like, okay, no problem. Let's go on ahead and take care of it because we got to fix those chompers. And so I have to have him transfer me money, right? That's just how it works. So I send him a little Zelle request. I don't know why I got caught up on that word. So I sent him a Zelle request. Why doesn't that want to come out? So I send him a Zelle request. There we go. Third time's a charm. And he sends it to me right away. And I'm like, cool. But the way that I do things is I have like one thing's connected. My hip bone's connected to my jawbone. I don't know why I said that because clearly those two are not connected, but it felt right. Anywho, let's keep going. So I have my different accounts connected, like my Cash App, my Venmo, my Zelle, my all of those different types of, PayPal, all of those different types of things, right? And so how it works for me is once I receive a Zelle, it's supposed to automatically go into a secondary account. And that account is where I have my card through, right? And I got the notification that I received the money. And I was like, cool. But I hadn't yet received a notification that it went over and transferred to the next card. So I'm standing there. I'm like, oh, just a moment. Just a moment. I felt like, what's his name? Kevin Hart, where he's like, I just got to transfer from my check-ins to my savings and my savings to my check-ins. And she's like, no problem. So I'm just standing there. I am refreshing my screens over and over. I'm exiting out, refreshing, and nothing. Now, here's the thing. Typically, I would have panicked, right? I'm like, where's this shmoney? Where's my shmoney, man? But thankfully enough, thank God, I actually had the money. Right? It was just as a birthday gift. And I didn't want to have to use it on my dental cleaning, if I'm being completely honest, because that's not me money. That's not a treat money. That's me getting my teeth sawed and scraped. That's not fun for me. I don't want to have to use my money on that if I don't have to, right? Anyway, let's keep going. So, spoiler alert, the money isn't transferring. So I'm like, you know what? On a wing and a prayer, I'm not even going to stress over this anymore. I'm just going to use my money and figure it out later. So I do that. I'm like, we're going to have to put a little bit on a card. We're going to have to put a little bit in cash. So can we do that? The woman's very agreeable. Everything's fine. Bingo, bango, Bob's your uncle. It's paid, right? Mind you, this whole time, I got like $1 in my account. I'm like, oh, this is fun. But I'm not going to stress over it, right? So I go to the back, start getting my teeth cleaned, and bing, that's me making the sound of my phone notification. The money appears. Now, what is the translation behind this very long and arduous story, right? It's because the money didn't come through until I literally had to step out on faith. I had to put myself out there. I had to give up what I thought was my last in order to receive. And that's how a lot of times we have to be, right? Because what I was hearing from another guru, if you will, is that oftentimes when we're in a hard space and place, we have to one, step out on faith is exactly what I said, or two, help someone else, even if we're in a space that we're not really capable of helping someone else. We can't allow our struggles to be the end all be all of our existence, right? If we focus on the lack, then that's what we're going to multiply. That's what we're going to continue to sit in. I honestly think that Spirit held off on that transfer because, mind you, any other time it's instantaneous. I feel as if Spirit, God, Gaia, ancestors, angels, and saints were holding off on that transfer just to prove a point to me. Trust that it is coming. Any other time, old Marisa 1.0 would have been contacting customer service. I would have been on the phone. I would have sent an email, and I would have had chat open at the same time because where's my money, man? In the words of Stewie. Bottom line is sometimes you just got to step out on faith. Sometimes you just have to push forward and with the hope and faith in your heart that things are going to work out. Now, of course, this doesn't necessarily have to always translate to monetary situations and circumstances because, like I said before, I was blessed in that moment because I've not always been in a situation where I had it, right? I've not always had it in order to give it. But when I did have it, then I could give it. But again, talking in circles, rambling, you know how I do. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down because that's it. In the words of George Michaels, you got to have faith. And if this message resonates, then that means it is for you. And if not, that's cool too. Just keep it pushing. Either way, I thank you for listening and I wish you the very, very, very best day ever. Until next time, you know the vibes. Peace. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to check me out on all social media. I'm basically everywhere you probably shouldn't be. But when you look me up, just remember it is Marisa Moments, and that is Marisa with one S because there is only one me. So until next time, happy healing.